So for the amount of time I've been playing Skyblock, I'd say I'm pretty knowledgeable on most of the items and different armor sets and weapons in the game. So one day I was just scrolling through the hypixel Skyblock wiki looking at skills and different items in the game. One thing that I'm not very good at and something I don't grind, which I think also a lot of people also don't grind, is fishing. Fishing is what I would say one of the most boring skills, which is why I have it so low. And because I don't do or use clay minions, my fishing skill is very low, so I never was incentivized to ever do fishing. So when I was looking through fishing jobs, I found out about this hat. It's called the rabbit hat. From the thumbnail, it gives a permanent ability, but what might that be? We go down here and into the secret chest hat that I have, you'll see the rabbit hat. This hat is actually pretty secretive. Not many people know about this hat. Oh well, that's what I think, because after asking my guild, not many people knew it existed, and the ones who did know said it was actually really useful for a bunch of different tasks in the game, and I'll explain why later. So, if you look at the hat, it doesn't look too cool. It looks like a pretty simple, kinda useless hat. It gives 5 speed, 5 intelligence, and because I reforged Town Pleasant, it gives +2 crit chance and +2 crit damage and 1 extra intelligence. So from this, it looks like a pretty useless hat, and it doesn't look like it's useful for any other things in the game, but that's where you're wrong. So as I said, I was going through the wiki, hypixel Skyblock wiki, when I found out about this. And one thing on the wiki that I noticed is that it said that the hat had a special ability, but as I looked at over here, it didn't have anything. And then after putting on the hat, I noticed that I could jump extremely high and that it would give me jump boost 4 whenever I had it on. And it kind of seems useless, but if you think about it, jump boost 4 is what you get from Rabbit 6. And Rabbit 6 requires an enchanted glowstone block, which I would say is about a few 100k. And just by wearing this hat, you can have that pod on permanently, and people don't even know it exists, because even if you were to get this hat, it wouldn't even say, so you'd probably most likely sell it on the H, which is how I got it. And if I go to the AH, you can see that this is actually a very obscure item, because if I search a rabbit on the H and go to armor, there's only about 4 on the AH, and I snaked this one for a good few 100k, but that was just because I overbid, because I didn't want any way for anyone to overbid on my hat and need to lose it because of how good I believe it is. So now you would probably want to know another use for this hat, because with jump boost 4, what really is it useful for? So what personally for me is useful for is grinding foraging. So since Menacing Bananas video, I've been grinding foraging a lot, and I've already reached level 28, and now with the newfound hat, it actually makes foraging a bunch better. So I'm using 2 pieces of farmer boots and this hat now, and the speed you sacrifice for all of having the jump boost is actually really worth it, because it's almost nothing, and because you're already not getting the full set bonus because you're using the farmer boots, you're sacrificing very little speed for the versatile use of jumping. It allows you to get into places you can't get that quickly, and this is one of the most useful things, is this lake. When you're grinding in the dark oak area, that lake is probably what takes off all the time from your foraging, because you're going to be grinding all the trees down, and then you're going to come here, and then you're going to go, and then you're not going to be able to make the jump. And that is one of the most annoying things with doing foraging in the dark oak, and that actually just solves the problem and makes it so much more enjoyable to forage. Okay, so another method is to use it for doing zealots. So this is not just a good thing for foragers, it's also good for making money through grinding zealots, because a lot of times whenever I'm grinding zealots, I'll have a rapid pot on me. A lot of people do this, and a lot of YouTubers also do this, like Dirty Virus. But with the use of this hat, I don't even need to use the pot, and I can just wear the hat and sacrifice a little speed for the ability to jump higher. And the most useful use of this is when you have to jump those small gaps and levels between the different floors of the dragon's nest. So one also really good thing about this is that because you don't really have too much mana when using a young set with farmer boots, you have about 221, meaning you'll only be able to use your aspect of the end about 4 times. But with this, you can kind of bypass when you need to use the aspect of the end, which allows you to grind more efficiently and much more faster. So now if I just go down, wait, grind a few of the zealots, and before I would not be able to make the jumps like this, and it actually allows me to go a little bit better for grinding and lets me save a bit of the mana so I can teleport instead of having to teleport above to get into places that I wouldn't be able to reach before. It's also really helpful if you cannot Gauss Splash or you want to drink pots to get the full use of them, and so that would mean you would have to only have 3 abilities at a time. And one thing you'll notice is that it doesn't count as an effect. So even though you do have it, you can actually keep on putting pots above it. So even though I have jump boost 4 right now, I can put 3 other pots, and in technicality I have 4 different effects, but the game only recognizes at 3. So this allows you to get stuff like magic find, or maybe strength, crit, and speed, which is actually pretty useful, especially if you run the armor set at 80% crit chance. Okay, so if you found this video helpful or interesting, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like or maybe even subscribe, because it took a bit of scouring to actually find this, but I'm almost certain some people already know about it. But it's actually pretty fascinating that there's more items with hidden abilities in the game. And so thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and goodbye.